Hi everyone, this is Dr. Edelman. Just wanted to give you a brief explanation of the assignment for this week, which is creating a mini TPR lesson, and TPR stands for Total Physical Response, and this is a strategy that we use in classrooms of kids with various diversity in their background, so that could be language diversity, ability diversity. It's just a very effective strategy to use with kids who learn differently. So you'll see in the course content that I have videos, and I also have a PowerPoint and an example of lesson. So I'm going to ask that you review all of these before you create your mini TPR lesson. And TPR is a teaching technique where learners watch the teacher demonstrate an action and then they respond to the commands from the teacher to do the action. So really it's a model and then a do, but it's very action-based, so students tend to be very engaged, and they do respond well to this. So why do elementary teachers use TPR? It's multi-sensory, which is one of the approaches that we should all be using in our classroom. It's simultaneous activation. We can see it while we're asking them to do it. We're doing it with them. It's learning by doing, so active learning. It's student-oriented. And students feel that they understand the language taught from the very beginning because you are pairing it with actions. So it's something real that they can see and then they can hear. So it's kind of reinforcing that language. And you'll see in the PowerPoint that there are steps to the TPR. This is what you're going to want to pay close attention to when you build your TPR lesson. And also there are helpful tips for how to apply TPR in your lesson. So what I'm asking for you to do is to create a mini TPR lesson, and this is going to be a minimum of 2 pages, and in your lesson I want you to include the following. First, I want you to include objectives. So what is it that you want the students to be able to know or accomplish by the end of the lesson? So my objectives for this course for you are to gain a foundational knowledge in TSL practices, and by the end of the semester you will have done that. So the objectives are really what are they going to accomplish. Then your target audience, your students. Which students are you targeting? Obviously it's going to be TSL students, but you can get a little bit further in detail of what grade is it. It's going to be early childhood, so anywhere between birth to 8. So give me the audience that you're targeting. Then what content areas are you looking into? So it can be anything that you're interested in as long as you are incorporating TPR. So you have free reins to talk about whatever content you want. It could be something that you're very familiar with. It could be something you want to learn more. So just indicate what you're going to be doing. Then steps of implementing the PWIM. And PWIM, and I know that you guys know, is just using pictures to represent concepts. So it's an inquiry-oriented language arts strategy that uses pictures containing familiar objects and actions to elicit words from children's listening and speaking vocabularies. So like I said, it's pairing actions, so like touch your head, and then they get the vocabulary head. How will you use pictures to incorporate this language and also pair it with actions? And then lastly, assessment. How are you going to assess the student's knowledge in this area? So you have the activity, this is what they're going to be doing, the TPR activity, and then you're going to assess their language in some way. So how do you plan on doing that? And make sure that the assessment is closely related to the activity, because we want our assessment linked to our learning. So like I said, minimum of 2 pages, and you can cover the directions for TPR within that. I want you to just demonstrate that you know what TPR is, that you're familiar with the practices, and that you can integrate it into a lesson. And then you're going to respond to at least one peer using the dialogue toolkit. So that's the rubric, the structure that I gave you in your syllabus, and that structure is going to be, hold on, let me scroll. You're going to appreciate, you're going to probe, you're going to snip, so cut and paste something that your peer has said. You're going to reflect back on that, then make connections and extend. Make sure that you do follow this structure, because I want to ensure that all of the responses have a lot of meat to them and that they're not superficial responses with like, yes, I agree, and not, really pleading your case. So So this assignment is due by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. and you're going to upload it into the discussion board. And also I wanted to remind you that the Adobe Connect meeting is going to be this Tuesday from 11 to 12. So I'm going to send you out a direct link for that you can connect to me and ask me questions, and you're going to be in a classroom setting virtually so you can see what other people's questions are as well. If you can't make it to that Adobe Connect meeting, I'm always available, via email or via Blackboard message. That would be my preferred method of communication. And, have fun with this. And if you have any questions or concerns, please do contact me.